Elon, I love the double hat, by the way.
Yeah.
He's the only one that can do that. Get away with it.
Well, Mr. President, they say I wear a lot of hats. And it's true. Even my hat has a hat. The American people voted for secure borders, safe cities, and sensible spending.
Facts.
And that's what they've gotten. A tremendous amount has been accomplished in the first 100 days. As everyone has said, it's more than has been accomplished in any administration before, ever, period. This portends very well for what will happen for the rest of the administration.
I'm going to put y'all clues as part of the
This could be
Patreon.
the greatest administration since the founding of the country.
Well, we all want to thank you for your help, too. You really have sacrificed a lot. Been treated very unfairly.
Well, they do like to burn my cars, which is not great. It's better.
But you have been treated unfairly, but the vast majority of people in this country really respect and appreciate you, and this whole room can say that very strongly. You've really been a tremendous help. You opened up a lot of eyes as to what could be done, and we just want to thank you very much. And you're invited to stay as long as you want. At some point, I guess he wants to get back home to his cars and his. You've done an incredible job. $150 billion. Think of that.
Yeah. It's 160 now.
Yeah, 160. They said, "Oh, it could have been more." And a lot of stuff is being worked on. That number could be doubled and even tripled. A lot of things are being worked on that we don't count yet because it's not quite there. But you've done a fantastic job, and we appreciate it very much, Elon.
Thank you. And it's also an honor to work with your incredible cabinet. I just like to say thank you, everyone. It's great to work with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
The reason that I give so much respect to Elon Musk, the reason that I give so much respect to him is because unlike other CEOs, unlike other owners that have a huge vested interest in their companies, because you got to remember that CEO compensation largely is based off of your performance in a company. So all of these years of Elon Musk building up these companies, his net worth is directly tied to the success of those companies. Now, if the sentiment amongst those companies or the people, consumers that then consume those products, so you start protesting against those companies, well, guess what? It directly affects the bottom line of the CEO. And this is the other part that we don't talk about. A lot of times they always like to say CEOs, they get paid an enormous amount of money. No, they get paid based off of the performance of the company itself. And because he is so visible and because he is such a polarizing figure, so to speak, the fortunes and or misfortunes of himself is directly tied to the sentiment of his people. Now, there's no better way to get a division amongst the people, especially if you're a businessman, other than getting involved in politics. Case in point, Trump himself. Trump was loved. He was absolutely, positively beloved by the American people prior to running for president of the United States of America. People loved Trump. People loved Trump before everybody, not just the right. Everybody loved Trump. He donated to Republicans. He donated to Democrats. He was on Oprah's couch. The people on The View loved him. Everybody loved Trump prior to him becoming the president of the United States of America. And in a small, short amount of time, half of the country is divided against him. Half of the country is divided against him. And so the greatest people, because he could be a Jeff Bezos and just continue to disappear and have his company ran. He could have been a Mark Zuckerberg and just do a podcast here and there. But no, what he decided to do was he decided to actually engage in a political process because he wanted this country to be better than it was before. And I had to believe, I had to know, I have to think that every CEO knows that there is going to be a political fallout if you decide to get involved or say which way you are going to vote. 100%. Which makes it even more patriotic, because to know that half of the country is going to turn on you, especially the half that said that they was for your company because You were the best for the environment, according to them. They was with the Green New Deal. They loved it. They said that we are all, Californians were the first ones to start to embrace Teslas. They was driving them around when we was calling them microwaves. They was over there driving around in them and saying, no, you got to get a Tesla because it's better for the environment. And then they start referencing General Motors and saying, I don't know if you ever seen that movie, Who Killed the Electric Car? GM could have did it a long time ago, but they canned it in order to make sure that they continue to make internal combustion engine vehicles. And Tesla is the one that stood up to big America. And so it was good for him until it became, him supporting Trump and closed borders and not having illegal migrants in sanctuary cities and making sure that we audit the federal government. Then everybody turned against him. And all of a sudden, the left became the right and the right became the left when it came to electric vehicles. Nobody was against Tesla. No, as a matter of fact, the only people that was against Tesla was the petrol heads. Was the people, you know what, I only like gas cars. Gas cars forever. I'm never going to drive an electric vehicle. It just don't make the same sound. The only people that was against electric vehicles were petrol heads, and it was usually people that were conservative. Then, all of a sudden, he became the enemy. Then all of a sudden he became the enemy. It wasn't cool to own an electric car anymore. Now they stand with China. Now everybody wants a Chinese vehicle, a BYD. You ain't never even seen a BYD vehicle in person. You don't even know what BYD stand for. It stands for Build Your Dreams, but you don't even know nothing about it. We want Chinese technology. They're living in 2019, 2050, and we're living in 2025. We stand with China. We stand with Canada. We stand with Mexico. We stand with everybody that's against America. We're with it. We stand with China. We stand with the EU. Okay, I hear you, big dog. Just go ahead and put the fries in the bag. Put the fries in the bag. It's cool. Just put the fries in the bag. We cool. But Trump is saying, listen, I just believe in choice. People should be able to choose between both. And so Elon Musk came in. He made the sacrifice. He did the thing that was best for the people. The only person that got out of this thing unscathed was Vivek Ramaswamy. The only person that got out of this thing unscathed is Vivek. That's it. He's the only person that got out of this thing unscathed. Here's CNN's take on the whole situation.
From the Wall Street Journal, just this hour, it's a headline that reads, Tesla board opens search for a CEO to succeed Elon Musk. When you read the story, sources are telling the Journal that Tesla's board members started reaching out to several executive search firms, initiating a formal process to replace Musk. My source joining me tonight is the Wall Street Journal's Emily Glazer, who just broke this reporting. And Emily, thanks for joining us on such breaking news. Can you just tell us what happened here and what the board of Tesla was thinking?
Absolutely. So Tesla has been going through some pain lately. It just reported earnings last week and had profits decline about 70%. And our reporting shows that around a month ago, board members were reaching out to executive recruiting firms to start a formal CEO succession search process. This is a formal kind of next chapter. Obviously, companies do succession planning all the time for their next leader, but we know that this is happening as there was concern from investors about Musk spending too much time in DC, given his government role, and concern about the company really struggling lately. We also know that board members prior to earnings had an update. They gathered with Elon Musk and they said to him that we really need you to refocus on Tesla and we need you to say it publicly. And he did not push back.
That's pretty remarkable, given we saw him come out and say he'd step away from the DOGE effort. And part of your reporting that stood out to me is where you said that some Tesla employees said the first time they had heard from him in months was at an all-hands meeting that they had in March, where you report, if you read the news, he said, it, quote, it feels like Armageddon. I can't walk past a TV without seeing a Tesla on fire. These are times when there are rocky moments, a little bit of stormy weather, but I'm here to tell you that the future is bright and exciting. What I'm saying is, quote, hang on to your stock.
Interesting message from a CEO that was actually streamed on X. And so our understanding is that Elon Musk has not spent much time at Tesla offices. He has been calling into meetings, he's been joining virtually. And that's something that we know a board member shared with some major investors because they were concerned. And we also, our understanding is that one board member actually told investors that they did need to brief Elon more at times ahead of board meetings. So look, it's been no secret. Elon Musk has been spending a lot of time in Washington, D.C. He's been at Trump's side. He's been in Mar-a-Lago. He has 5 companies that he oversees. Tesla is one of them, but Tesla is public and Tesla is the biggest. It's got a market cap of around $900 billion.
It used to be well over $1 trillion. Now it's $900 billion, which is still more valuable than any other automaker in the world. However, I think it's more impressive the fact that, he actually, interestingly enough, I think it's more impressive at the fact that he's been able to step away and the company is still running the way that it's running without him at the helm. I think it's more impressive the fact that he has been able to spend so much time in Washington and not have to be in the office. That means that he's created a great environment and a great system that allows for them to be able to exist and not just be interdependent on him for his success. That's the most impressive thing to me about this whole situation, honestly.
Do we know if Elon Musk was aware of the effort that was underway to potentially?
No, Matthew. I think you got it wrong. Elon Musk is not stepping down from Tesla. The goal of the whole thing was to bring visibility to him to say, hey, we need you to focus more on the companies and not so much on your on the politics. That's number one. And then number two is common for a board or for a company to already be vetting for a successor, meaning that if anything was to ever happen to you or you decide that you step down or you decide that you're going away, that we have a successor in place and we're just not caught with our pants down and we're not suffering as a result of it. So a lot of people are taking the news to mean, hey, this was a threat to basically let him know that you need to get back into the office. No, I don't think that that's what it is. Elon Musk is on his own board. He is one of the board members of Tesla, obviously. But let me also add some caveats in here too of what I personally believe is going on with Elon Musk. I think that Elon Musk was bored. I think that when you combine his patriotism and his true love for the United States of America, his disgust from what he's seen, from what he uncovered when he bought Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter, when he's seen the censorship, when he's seen everything that was playing out and how stuff was going on, I believe that sparked something in him. I think that people like Elon Musk always have to be challenged. I don't think that they can rest on their laurels. If that was the case, he would have just chilled when he first got bought out with PayPal and he would have just lived his life happily ever after as a 100 millionaire. He wouldn't have went and risked it all and built an entirely new company called Tesla, right? Bought it and then built it up to be what it is today. He wouldn't invest everything that he ever had into it with the possibility of going bankrupt. He would have just stopped at Tesla and wouldn't have started SpaceX. He wouldn't have just stopped at SpaceX and then started Neuralink. He wouldn't have been so focused on continuing to get involved in the political process. People like Elon Musk, I think that it is beyond money. I don't think that he gives a flying F about what his net worth is. If he did, he probably wouldn't even have bought Twitter, formerly known as X. I don't believe that Elon Musk even cares about what his net worth is for the most part. I think he cares, but I don't think that he's even remotely concerned with it. I think he cares about shaping the world, having an impact, and how things are going to play out from there. I don't think that money is the driving factor behind Elon Musk at all. Some people get to a point in their life where they're not driven by money. People that have never had money don't understand what it means to be driven by money until the point to where you don't have to focus on money anymore. Then you start to be driven by other things that money allows for you to be able to do. Darius says everybody cares about net worth. What is it that Elon Musk can do with 500 billion that he can't do with 100 billion? Think about what you're saying for a minute. What is it that Elon Musk can do with 500 billion that he can't do with 100 billion or 50 billion or 20 billion? I mean, if you just want to look at it from a competitive landscape, oh, sure, he wants to beat this guy as far as his net worth. But what is it that he can do? What can you do with $1 trillion that you can't do with 100 billion? I don't think I don't think he cares. I think that he's just driving himself and pushing himself as far as he can possibly push himself to transform and change the world. I don't think that it's ever about money anymore. That's something that we care about a lot of times because we've never achieved those heights. If you chase money for the rest of your life, even after you get rich, because again, the success, the deals, the running it up, the money just becomes extra on top of it. That's going to come with it anyway. That's not the thing that you're worried about. Correct. Money for him is a way for him to keep score. I don't think that it's about money. I truly don't. If it was about money, there's no way that he would ever gotten involved in a political process at all. I don't think he cares. I genuinely don't think he cares. I think that he's more concerned with transforming, changing the world, and pushing himself to see how much he can impact things. I think it's power. It becomes more than money.
Actually replace him?
We do not know if he was aware of the effort, and we also don't know the status of this. So
why do you listen on a very small scale? Because, for example, you're right, J-Ben. I think the first 5 to 10 million is exciting. After that, I'm sure life gets a tad stale. Knowing you can buy pretty much anything you want on command is probably boring.